84-year-old Nancy Guthrie vanished from her Tucson area home overnight on February 1st. Her family called police after finding her missing on Sunday.
At 1:47 a.m. in a nice Tucson neighborhood, a doorbell camera stops working. 17 minutes later, a motion sensor picks up someone inside the home, but there's no video because someone has tampered with the system. By 2:28 a.m., Nancy Guthrie, who is 84 years old, loses the connection between her pacemaker and her iPhone, marking a tragic turn. What followed was a large kidnapping investigation. 50,000 tips, 400 officers working on the case, $1 million reward and ransom notes in cryptocurrency. A masked person, caught on a doorbell video, tried to hide their tracks by hiding behind a bush in the yard. Investigators spotted something small on the suspect's hand, a ring visible through the glove, which raises questions about who they are and their connections. Today we will look closely at this case, detail by detail, to find out more about Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Who is Nancy Guthrie, and why this case is unlike any other? Before we discuss the evidence, it's important to know who Nancy Guthrie is. Understanding her story makes the crime against her even harder to believe. Nancy Guthrie turned 84 years old just 4 days before she disappeared. She lived alone in a quiet neighborhood in the Catalina foothills, which is north of Tucson, Arizona. Nancy is the mother of 3 adult children: Savannah Guthrie, who co-anchors NBC's Today Show, Annie Guthrie, and Cameron Guthrie. Everyone who knew Nancy described her as active, sharp, and very social. She regularly attended virtual church services, and her church friends were close and supportive. They became concerned when Nancy didn't log on for Sunday services on February 1st, 2026. They couldn't reach her, so they contacted her family. A 911 call went out at 12:03 p.m., and deputies arrived just 12 minutes later. What they found raised alarms that this was not just a routine welfare check. There was blood on the front porch, later confirmed to be Nancy's. She had left her phone behind, and her Apple Watch had been disconnected from her pacemaker app since 2:28 a.m. Her daily heart medication, which she needs to survive, was still at home. The Pima County Sheriff's Department quickly determined that Nancy did not leave her home on her own. She has mobility issues and relies on her medication. She could not have walked away. Within 24 hours, the case moved from a missing person search to a criminal investigation. Within 48 hours, Sheriff Chris Nanos told the media he believed she had been abducted. NPR reported that from 2020 to 2025, of about 240,000 kidnapping and abduction cases in the U.S., less than 0.2% involved women in their 80s. Nancy Guthrie is part of a very rare group of victims. Investigators at the FBI stated they had never seen a case like this one. This uniqueness, the age of the victim, her vulnerability, the complexity of targeting her, and the media attention due to her daughter, has made this the most complicated kidnapping investigation that the Pima County tip line has ever dealt with, according to the chief of detectives at the Pima County Attorney's Office. As of March 4th, 2026, 32 days since her disappearance, Nancy Guthrie has still not been found. The night Nancy disappeared, a timeline of terror. Let's go through what happened in the hours after Nancy Guthrie disappeared, as the timeline provides important clues. On the evening of January 31st, Nancy had dinner at her daughter Annie's home, which is about 4.5 miles from her house. Annie's husband, Tommaso Scioni, drove Nancy home around 9:45 p.m. After she got home, everything seemed normal. However, things changed over the next 5 hours. At 1:47 a.m. on February 1st, Nancy's Nest doorbell camera was turned off. This wasn't a malfunction. Someone disconnected it on purpose. Investigators later found that the footage from that time was either deleted or overwritten. The FBI managed to recover some data from the camera, but it wasn't available to the public until February 10th, 9 days after she went missing. At 2:04 a.m., another camera in the house detected movement, but it did not capture any video. At 2:28 a.m., the pacemaker app on Nancy's iPhone showed a disconnect. Investigators believe this is an important point in the timeline. The pacemaker stopped communicating with her phone. It is unclear why this happened, whether she was moved away from the phone was turned off, or for another reason. Then there was silence. Nancy did not answer calls. She did not log on to church. She did not take her medication. She didn't go anywhere, as she couldn't have moved far on her own. A neighbor's Ring camera, located about 2.5 miles from Nancy's home, recorded a dozen vehicles passing by at around 2:30 a.m., which is when investigators think she was taken. One vehicle was seen at about 2:36 a.m., 8 minutes after her pacemaker disconnected. Investigators are still looking into whether this vehicle is related to her disappearance. What investigators know for sure is that a crime occurred inside Nancy Guthrie's home. This is confirmed by her blood evidence, her missing medication, and the disabled camera. The main questions remain: who did this and why? The suspect on the doorbell camera. What the footage reveals. On February 10, 2026, FBI Director Kash Patel released shocking footage from a Nest camera outside Nancy Guthrie's front door. The video shows a masked, gloved figure approaching her front door in the early morning darkness. He is fully covered, wearing a balaclava that hides his face except for his eyes and mouth. He also wears a jacket, long pants, and gloves. His backpack has reflective straps, and he carries a holster at his waist. In one part of the video, he raises his gloved hand to block the camera. Then, in a noteworthy move, he steps off the porch, goes into the yard, and picks a piece of vegetation from the garden. He uses this plant to cover the camera. This behavior is significant. CNN's former FBI correspondent, Josh Campbell, said it shows that the act was highly premeditated and very poorly planned. He noted that someone who had really scouted the property and knew about the camera would have come prepared to turn it off. Instead, this suspect apparently saw the camera for the first time that night and used a plant from the yard. An expert on behavior stated, "This is the first time he's ever done something like this." The FBI's forensic analysis of the video provided a suspect description. A male, 5 feet 9 inches to 5 feet 10 inches tall, with an average build. They publicly shared this description along with the footage. The video also showed that the suspect visited the property on at least 2 different nights. CNN confirmed that he appeared in images taken on 2 separate days, as he did not wear the backpack in one of them. This was not a random act. The person who took Nancy Guthrie had been to her home before. The pocket item, the ring through the glove that's raising red flags. Investigators and true crime analysts are particularly interested in a clue found on the suspect's gloves. NBC News correspondent Liz Kreutz looked at the FBI surveillance footage and noticed something. A ring is visible through one of the suspect's gloves. In at least one still image, you can see a bump or circular shape in the fabric. Sheriff Chris Nanos addressed this possibility on February 19th. He confirmed that he sees what others have pointed out. "I see it," he said. "People have circled and said it's a ring. I'm going to give that to my team. They'll look at it and analyze it." This clue is important because a ring is often a very personal piece of jewelry. People wear rings every day without thinking about it. A ring could be engraved, have a unique shape, or be a family heirloom, for example. Someone who knows the suspect might recognize this ring, even if they haven't yet connected it to this crime. Details like this can help solve cases. Recognition can lead to breakthroughs, potentially more than just DNA evidence. Someone may have seen that ring or its shape in a photograph and realized something important, but hasn't acted on it yet. The ring is one of many details investigators are following closely. They see a suspect who planned a kidnapping but left behind many clues. Another important detail is the suspect's holster. In the footage, they carry a small semi-automatic pistol in a holster meant for a large frame revolver. A firearms expert explained that this doesn't make sense. He's using a small semi-automatic meant for concealment, but has it in a cheap fabric holster that doesn't match. The FBI is showing pictures of this holster to local gun shops to find out if anyone recognizes it or the person who bought it. Additionally, the holster is positioned oddly, between the legs instead of on the hip. Firearms professionals see this as a sign of someone inexperienced in carrying concealed weapons. This raises the question, is this person a first-time offender? The evidence suggests they might be. The backpack, the gloves, and the DNA that won't match yet. Investigators are carefully examining all the physical evidence connected to the suspect. Each clue they find helps them make progress, but also presents challenges. One important lead was a black backpack identified early on. The FBI found that it is a 25-liter Ozark Trail hiker pack sold exclusively by Walmart. Sheriff Nanos called it a promising lead. The FBI worked with Walmart to get the records of recent purchases of this backpack. They are also reviewing surveillance footage from local Walmart stores to find a match with the suspect's description. Another clue comes from gloves. During their search, investigators found 16 gloves in different places. Investigators discarded most as part of routine evidence handling. However, one black glove was found about 2 miles from Nancy Guthrie's home. This glove appeared to match the ones worn by the suspect in the doorbell camera footage. The DNA from the glove was sent to the FBI's Combined DNA Index System, CODIS. This system holds DNA profiles from over 19 million known offenders. Unfortunately, there was no match. This could mean that the DNA does not belong to the suspect or that the person has never been arrested for a crime that required a DNA sample to be added to the database. In short, they have no criminal record. However, not finding a match in CODIS does not end the investigation. Investigators have started using investigative genetic genealogy, a method that helped identify Joseph DeAngelo as the Golden State Killer and led to the arrest of Brian Kohberger in the Idaho murders. This technique compares unknown DNA profiles to genealogical databases to trace family trees until a name can be identified. C.C. Moore, a chief genetic genealogist at Parabon, confirmed that the DNA from Guthrie's property is mixed, which is common in violent crime cases. She said mixed DNA is harder to analyze, but it can be done. She explained that she looks for patterns and connections to build the suspect's family tree, ancestor by ancestor. This process can take time, but it has been successful before, and investigators believe it will work here too. Separately, the DNA found inside Nancy's home does not match her, anyone close to her, or the DNA from the glove. This means there are 3 different DNA profiles involved. Investigators are working on all 3 leads simultaneously. The ransom notes in the Bitcoin trail. Who is really communicating? Alongside the physical investigation, there is a complicated digital investigation involving cryptocurrency ransom demands that began shortly after Nancy went missing. 3 days after her disappearance, several Arizona news outlets received ransom notes demanding millions of dollars in Bitcoin for her return. The notes included a Bitcoin wallet address for payment. 2 deadlines were set, one for February 5th and another for February 9th. Both deadlines passed without any confirmed contact between the Guthrie family and the kidnappers. Savannah Guthrie, in a video with her siblings Annie and Cameron, said the family was willing to pay for their mother's safe return. However, investigators told ABC News they were unsure if the ransom notes were real or if someone was trying to take advantage of the family's distress. The FBI quickly arrested a man named Derek Colella for sending fake ransom demands via text, pretending to be Nancy's kidnapper, and asking for Bitcoin just after the family released a video asking for proof that she was alive. He faced charges for trying to send a ransom demand and for harassment. The police traced his messages to a Gmail account linked to his Los Angeles home. At the same time, the FBI was looking into another ransom demand that they believed might have come from the real kidnapper. On February 10th, the same day the FBI released doorbell camera footage, a small Bitcoin transaction of about $152 was sent to the wallet listed in one of the original ransom notes. It is unclear whether this payment was made by law enforcement, a family member, or someone else checking the wallet. Experts in blockchain technology noted that the Bitcoin blockchain is public, meaning anyone can view payments to a wallet. However, finding out who controls a specific wallet requires further investigation. A former federal prosecutor and blockchain expert explained that criminals often use cryptocurrency because it is fast, international, and not subject to bank freezes. However, cryptocurrency is not untraceable. Law enforcement has become much better at tracking cryptocurrency trails, and they have solved many high-profile cases using blockchain analysis. The use of cryptocurrency in this case adds a modern and unusual element to the kidnapping of an 84-year-old woman from a quiet Arizona neighborhood, with ransom demands delivered through digital wallets. Where the investigation stands, and why investigators say it's far from cold. Nancy Guthrie has been missing for over a month. There have been no arrests or named suspects, and her family has not received proof that she's alive. However, investigators, including former FBI agents and the Pima County Sheriff, emphasize that the case is not cold. Former FBI agent Jennifer Coffendorfer said that the team is following active leads every day. Retired Agent Maureen O'Connell mentioned $1 million reward that could help solve the case. Sheriff Chris Nanos confirmed that the homicide team is working hard on the case and believes Nancy is still alive. They have issued subpoenas for her bank and phone records. So far, they have received 40,000 to 50,000 tips, the most in Pima County's history. Investigators are collecting physical evidence, including a ring, a mismatched holster, and gloves found in the desert, as well as DNA evidence for genealogy searches. Savannah Guthrie shared a heartfelt message, encouraging the community to keep praying for Nancy's safe return. This case has strong evidence and remains active, with ongoing investigations and a substantial reward. If you have any information, please get in touch with the FBI or local authorities. Nancy Guthrie deserves to come home. Updates will be provided as the investigation continues.